Okay, hi again guys, Mikhail here, Power Moves Fitness with Charlie again, PMF coach. And in this video we're going to talk about pre-front squat stretches and mobility. So a number of issues can arise with the front squat. Also we've done the hip stuff in a previous video. Today we're going to do a front squat. So a number of issues can arise with that are shoulder mobility, wrist mobility and mobility of the lat. So if we're trying to get into a front rack position, if the lat is very tight, it's going to pull that elbow down and make the front squat very hard to execute. And that's normally one of the first things that goes within the front squat. So we want to make sure everything's supple so she can hold a high front squat position and get into a nice tall front squat. Okay? All right, so we're going to start with the wrists. So if we come down to the floor. Awesome. So very simple start to stretch out the wrists. Charlie's just going to go on one wrist and then she's going to start as she is now. This is how you would as well. So from this position, she's going to rock forward, keeping a locked elbow and hold that tension there, stretching out the wrist and the forearm. Again, if you're in the front squat and your wrist mobility is not very good, you won't be able to get into a nice front squat position. So again, about 20 seconds on this stretch. Okay, and then we're going to go over to, yeah, that's fine. So there's 3 movements you can do here on the wrist, and Charlie's into the second. Again, just coming back and holding, getting a good stretch there. Again, locking the elbow so you're getting the forearm stretch as well. Okay, so about 20 seconds and then she'll move into the last one. So moving the wrist over. This one can be a little bit tough on some people and a bit strenuous. So if you can, sometimes you might need to rotate the elbow a little bit just so you can lock it out, get a good stretch through all these muscles in the forearm again. And that's your wrist mobility, yeah? So again, holding each of those for about 20 seconds. You would make sure you go onto the other arm. Do each arm separately, because obviously they're unilateral. And if you've got one tighter than the other, you can spend a little more time on that one. Okay, so next we're going to go to some pipe work for shoulder mobility. So Charlie's going to grab the pipe. It's a very simple drill. You've probably seen it 100 times, but it helps to warm up the rotator cuffs, open out the shoulder joint. With this, start with a wide grip. Don't go too narrow because it might hurt. So as you roll over, keep a locked elbow. Any restriction here, don't force past it. Just gradually glide past it. And you don't want to force anything here within a shoulder joint, and she's going to bring it over. Pre-squat, you probably want to do about 20 rotations. If you have poor mobility in the shoulders and you feel like you do, I'd recommend you do this every day before any exercise. And if you can, just move the hands in a little bit closer, see how it feels. If it feels you get jammed, don't force it, go back out wide and try to work your way in nice and close. Yeah? Okay, perfect. Next, we're going to move on to a band stretch, which is going to help open out the shoulder joint a bit more, also the tricep, lengthen that, and the lats. Yeah, so Charlie's going to demo. We want a similar band to this. We don't want too thick because it can be very tough. So we're going to stand on the band, get your hand on it. Elbow's going to go inside the band, band outside. Then she's going to push it up. So just going to square her legs off, hips squared off. Awesome. So Charlie's a little bit tight in here. So we want to try and make sure this stays up nice and tall. And with the hip, we want to push it into anterior tilt. So you're getting a stretch all the way down, all the way through the tricep. You can hold this one for a little bit longer, about 30 seconds. Stay nice and tall. Remember thoracic extension, keeping the spine elevated. Okay? When you're finished, don't try to unravel your shoulder. Just let the band go. Yeah, because if you try to unravel your shoulder, you could do some damage. Again, make sure you move to the second arm as well. And to finish, we're going to move on to a lat stretch on the floor. So Charlie's going to get into position. Awesome. Good. And then you're going to put both arms forward. Really reach forward far as you can. And from this position, you're going to rotate to one side. Awesome. So you're going to grab the right arm first. And you want to extend this arm a little bit more. Keeping the elbow down on the floor. Now from here, push the elbow into the floor. So you're going to get a big lat stretch in here. And really lengthen that lat out. Make sure you can open it out into a nice front foot position. Again, you can hold this one for a little bit longer, possibly 30 seconds. And then if you want to go into the other side, Charlie. Awesome. So from here, you probably rotate out a little bit more, just so you get a big sweep on the lats and really lengthen those out. And lats can get very tight through training. Every time like you're squeezing, retracting, there's a really good stretch that you might want to do every day as well. Okay guys, that's your pre-front squat stretches. So please make sure you do those before your front squat. Not too long, 15 to 20 seconds in each exercise, and then go into your front squats. All right, cheers guys.